What's up, everybody? Mr. OG Games here, and welcome back to the series Road to Castle 30. I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I hope you guys are getting some good information on how to build and grow a castle. We have only begun, and we'll be going to share much more with you guys as this journey unfolds. I do want to say, if you guys have any questions, comments on the video, please leave a comment down below. That way I can see what your guys' thoughts are on it. Also, I've been looking at many different ways of bringing the screen to you guys in a bigger format, so it's not just little in the middle of the screen the way that you have to record War and Order, because it's played in portrait mode. So if you guys have any suggestions on that also, please leave that in the comment field, and I'd greatly appreciate any feedback you guys have or questions that I can address at a later time. Right now I'm just speeding through some of the leveling ups as we continue our growth. Like I said earlier in the previous episode, I like to grow every building with the castle. Now, there will be a certain point in which I start to veer away from that a little bit, and when we get to that point, I will explain why. But I do try to still stick with the mentality to level every building at the same speed and same level, just for future benefits to the city. So as we approach where we're at right now, we are basically still at a very early stage, getting the wall up, getting the next castle up, going through the upgrades for the next series of cities, and it's pretty much rinse and repeat, doing this over and over. But now we're starting to see some new buildings unlock. We were at this level, we're unable to lock the blacksmith. Now, the blacksmith is where you will forge all of your equipment, and your equipment is forged on materials that you either win materials or you craft materials. And once we get progressing with the series, there will also be pretty much a video dedicated to just the blacksmith and how to level up your equipment the fastest, and the best way to focus on certain equipment pieces and what their strategy or what their benefits are to the kind of castle that you are building. Mind you, we chose the dragon for our beast, so that gives you a little bit of an indication that we're going for more of an attack style play. Also, right now, as you saw me training some troops, we're basically we're leveling up all of them pretty much at the same time. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. Yes, you want infantry so that you can have that defense. You want your cavalry so that way you can get some faster resource runs. Then of course your archers are good for offense and defense, and mags mainly offense, but they do have their defensive strengths as well, depending on the level they are. That is something that we'll go into depth more down the road as well. Right now we're just going to stick and focus on how to get this thing started so we can be self-sufficient without having to go and raid others for resources or look at any type of farm aspect. And that's a whole nother category in itself, the farming aspect of the game. So I'm sinking all of our skill points right now into development. This will help us grow faster, help us get resources quicker, and in my opinion, I think that's the best start that you can do. That way you're more in tune to leveling up faster to get you where you want to be, so you can actually be effective in the game. Right now we're basically going to take all these buildings and move them up one more level as well. And the next real milestone we have now Well, we have a mini one at level 8 where we'll be able to add our third barrack. That way we can get that much more troops being trained. And then after that, we're going to be looking at level 10 castle is where our next big milestone is. That's where we can unlock the merchant trader, and then that's where we can start crafting those materials as well that's needed for the blacksmith and for your equipment. So we're about halfway, a little over halfway to getting to level 10. And these first few castle levels, they do increase quite rapidly. Not much resources are needed to kind of get them up and going. The time to wait for them to finish is, an hour here, 2 hours, 3 hours. And then when you really get down into like castle 8, 9, 10, the hours start adding up. And that's a good reason why to save some of these speed ups. Especially the hour speed ups. And as you can see, I've not used any gems. I don't use any gems at all until it comes to buying certain items like speed ups or bumping that castle up the next level. Usually with the main buildings, I won't, especially if I don't have anything ready to build next, I'll let the clock run out on it. That way I can go ahead and get some resources. That way I can get where I need, so when I have the opportunity to start another building, I'm ready to do it. And I save the speed ups. There's no point in speeding up a building if you don't have the resources ready to move on to the next building you're trying to do. So save those speed ups. I mean, unless it's like a milestone castle or building and you need to complete it to start doing something, that's one thing. But if you don't have the resources to start on that next building, I would probably hold off on that and just let the time do its thing. Click on down. That gives you not only time to build the resources up and check other buildings, send out some marches, kill off some monsters, level up there, get some troops trained, and then you're saving those speed ups for when you really do need them. Right now, as you can see, at this early stage, when you're leveling up these buildings, the rewards are there. They're going to give you the XP to level up your Lord level, which will give you Lord skill points for each level. They'll also give you a small amount of resources. They'll also give you things like some gems for castles and walls, but the XP is there. I think they'll give you like 1 or 2 speed up, 5-minute speed ups. Right now, when you start the game, you have VIP activated. So on the map we just saw, on the bottom right hand corner, you can click that and you can choose what you want to go and search for, whether it be resources or the monsters on the map. So of course, the first monster you have to do is level 1. Once we do that and kill the level 1, then we can go to the level 2, the level 3. You can't jump from 1 to 5. You have to kill each individual one in sequential order. And you also get first kill awards. Once you have killed one level, you can continue to kill that level as much as you want until you get a strong enough march to kill the next higher level. Monsters, there's events specifically for monsters for you to go out and earn gems based upon points that are given for each level monster. These are all things right now that I'm not really going in depth on because this is more, we're going to take this like we would building the game. We're going to talk about what we're looking at right now versus things that you're going to be doing in level 10 to 20. I mean, there's no sense in talking about things like that until you're actually at a point where you're going to be able to do that. So I'm keeping it basic, keeping it pretty much in order from what you're seeing and where we're playing now. That way I'm not getting too far ahead of you guys. We're not going to, I don't want anybody confused. This is here to help, and that's what we're going to do. The resources, once you see the little icons on the buildings, you can certainly just shake your phone. It'll collect them all for you at the same time. If you're not online, it will collect them after a certain amount of time. As far as the college is concerned, as you saw there, I was going in focusing once again on resources. You want to be researching the technology every possible minute you can. So when the timer clicks down, say if it's a 2-minute research, when it clicks down, you get that research, go and do another one. And the only time you wouldn't do that is if you need to get way ahead on some resources for your next building. You want to save that for that, of course. But focus on, focus on what you need to accomplish at that time. Don't overthink things. The game can get quite complicated if you make it that way. If you sit back, take the game as it comes to you, you'll do just fine. As far as the game is concerned, it is a time-consuming game. It's not something that you have to have in your hand every second, but you want to make sure your notifications are turned on, so that way you know when a building is done, you can jump right to the next build, or when a march that you sent out to collect resources is back, you can go ahead and send back out again. Pay attention to the events that are going on, so you can make sure you're doing the best that you can in those events to try to make sure you win the gems or the prizes that are given. And when you become seasoned at it, there's a kill event which is actually going on, I think next episode should be. At this point in the realm we're at, we shouldn't really have any concerns. We don't have any troops to give them any points, but that's a whole nother matter in its own. Once again, something further down the line. But the game is it's addictive. It'll keep you checking it every 5 minutes if you let it. You certainly don't want to abandon the game. You want to continue your progression. I think once you get over this hump and once you get acclimated on how to do certain things, it'll become routine. And it's not something where you're kind of guessing all the time on what's next. You're gonna know what to do next. We just killed the level 1 monster there. You can see we're gonna get a first kill award. Now we're ready to go and attack a level 2. And of course we can continue to kill the level 1s. You don't get all the rewards because that's only for the first kill, but we can continue to get things from those monsters. You do have a certain amount of stamina that you can use, so keep that in mind. And that's things that, like I said, not to jump way ahead, but we'll go into depth of every building, every troop march, what each building's used for. We're going to go into all that step by step as we continue our journey to Castle 30. And I think if you guys stick to the plan, stay focused on your game, I think you'll do just fine. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, because we have the massive giveaway at the end of this series. You'll be winning this castle that we're building together. But yeah, that's it. If you guys liked the video, smash the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, y'all keep gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.